I'm going to join the army and drive the newest, modern, most advanced tank in the world.
Welcome back. We're starting a new project with KV-122 tank, made of course by none other than Trumpeter. This model will be enhanced with ET model photo etch kit. I got it because I want to work on my currently poor skills in building photo etch parts. I'll use the big Fender box and I'll save the rest for the future projects, as I will probably build more KV tanks in the future. I'll also add these resin 3D printed smoke dischargers from EMP. Don't worry that one is missing, it's in the bag. The modernization program will also include adding this T55 tank sight, also from EMP, as well as parts from this T62. Yeah, it will be a kit bashing project. And to be specific, we'll be using this leftover IR illuminator and all these Contact 1 explosive reactive armor. By the way, this is another episode where I'm mentioning the T62 tank, so here it is. This is the T62 I built and have leftover parts from. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, I think so too. Fun fact about it, I built it as a challenge. I wanted to finish it in a single day, wake up in the morning, start building and be done before going to bed. Of course that was just the build process, no painting. The challenge failed as I ran out of time by a couple hours. Back to the KV. The kit itself doesn't give us any interesting painting guide, just a simple green color. The instruction manual is straightforward and looks exactly like every other Trumpeter manual. It's quite short and simple, only 10 steps. Worth mentioning is the addition of the metal barrel. It's always nice to see one instead of the plastic version. The photo etch plate is very small and simple, just a couple of parts. Same with the decals, only numbers and the Gvardia emblem. Overall, a very cool kit considering the price. Let's start the build. Working on the hull, we will quickly reach the point where we use 90% of the included photo etch parts. It's basically just this rear section. Trumpeter also gives us this part in plastic, but since I want to build up my photo etch skills, I might as well try it. To replicate this plastic part, we need to glue this strip to the plate, bend it in the arch and then add these 4 supports. From the side it should look like this. To achieve the desired shape I used my track rig and one of the brushes. So what even is the idea of building an old KV tank with reactive armor? Why do it? Well, to be honest, in the ongoing war we've seen some very old tanks in action, especially T62s, T55s and even T54s, often used to fire high explosive shells indirectly. That made me think, will we see something even older on the battlefield soon? And if so, would those tanks be modernized in any way? That thought led to another, and I started thinking about building a T-34 with a field-mounted Contact 1. But to be honest, I don't really like T-34s that much. Recently I came across this IS-2 photo and it hit me. Yeah, something with 122mm gun, modernized with reactive armor. So I got this KV-122 as a base for this sci-fi project. As we speak, hull received golden engine vent meshes. Continuing with the build, we are attaching more and more parts, standard stuff. You can see the side plates received a layer of Tamiya putty, as sadly it didn't want it to fit perfectly. The antenna mount was drilled out and received 0.4mm wire for a proper antenna. This antenna sticking out like this was getting in the way for all the time, till the end of this build. Starting with the ERA, I've used Tamiya black paint to dip the studs of the ERA bricks and mark the position for the drill. Then I've drilled out holes to mount it. Then I've remembered that it will be advised to add armor texture before drilling and mounting ERA armor. So I took some Tamiya putty, thinned it down with cement and mixed it. Then I tapped out the rough armor texture with old brush. turret received the same treatment. And here is the textured tank. After that I've continuing drilling holes and mounting era armor. Here is front plate layout. I've decided to leave empty space under the driver viewing port as era brick would obscure driver visibility. Finishing the hull, I've fitted wheels to the suspension. Sadly, front idle wheel had some cement inside and I won't be able to take it off for painting. So-called cringe moment. I've replaced plastic handles on the turret with 0.8mm copper wire. Looks much better than plastic ones. Just drill a hole, bend the wire into shape and glue it in place. Also, turret cheek received IR illuminator. I've drilled holes both in turret and IR light and put a wire to make the mount sturdy. The T55 sight from EMP is printed very nicely. I like the quality. I often use EMP products as they offer good quality and the price is quite affordable. I've mounted it in place of regular gunner sight on turret. Time for some bricklaying. The contact one is finally being put on the turret. And this is how the armor came out. All of the bricks are not the same, they vary with width and length, making the tank look more interesting. It gives off strong field modification vibes. I've decided to do some welding. With Scriber I've made the groove between roof and sides of the turret deeper. Then I'm gonna add the welds. The steel place intersections were enhanced by giving them flame cut marks. I've added cuts to the turret as well as to the hull. The edge of flame cut steel plate should look similar to this. After cutting all the edges, I've cleared it out with cement. Time to prepare the welds. Welding lines are made with milliput epoxy putty. It's being rolled into thin lines, put inside the grooves, and then sculpt out into weld beads. Tool for sculpting the welds is highly specialized contraption made from toothpick and Dr. Pepper can. After all that welding, I am finishing the turret by adding the hatches. I was thinking if I should keep the hatches open, but decided to leave them closed. To finish up the turret, we need to mount the barrel. Thankfully, metal barrel fits the gun mantlet without any issues. So it's just a case of filling it with CA glue and sticking it. Time for some good old mental gymnastic. It's my first time building so complicated out of photo etch plate, so thankfully I'm able to hide every imperfection with dents and scratches, as this will be heavily weathered tank. These 3 pictures of the box is everything there is in the instruction manual. I've cut the box out and started bending it into shape. Same with the doors. I'm starting to think that my Chinesium bending plate won't cut it anymore, so I should invest in proper bending rig. The doors received dents to add to the old and worn out look. And that's it, 1 hour of pain and suffering compressed into 15 seconds. With the most difficult thing out of the way, it is time to work on fenders. The fenders are receiving dents to add up to the old damaged look. Also, I'm gonna scratch build side skirts for this tank. I started with cutting out of styrene sheet these 2 plates and I've sanded out the edges. I want to mount it on the fenders right here, so the ERA armor will give protection to the crew compartment. I've started aligning contact 1 bricks and it looks like it will fit 20 bricks each. Then with styrene rods I am fabricating mounts to the fender, so it will actually hold on to them. And this is the design of the fenders that will be replicated on the other side. welded steel plate to hold the ERA armor, then another plate to hold thin sheet metal side skirts to protect the suspension from shrapnel. Time to deal with tracks. This time there are regular link tracks. Keep in mind that this particular KV tank has two different track links, one with guide teeth and one without it. You should put it alternately. This time I decided to give it a go to the method of using tape to secure the tracks. I had an idea to secure the tracks for the duration of cement keyring with rubber bands. I hope this band will not bend, warp or outright destroy these tracks. And this is how tank looks. It's all coming together, it starts to look cool. Time to get back to the turret and build smoke grenade dischargers. I've built a rig with two styrene rods. I've also put a wire into the dischargers and that put it all together. This whole contraption landed on the left side of the turret. I connected the dischargers wires with one big wire coming up from the top of the turret. The wires add to the authenticity, as you can't shoot grenades with your sheer willpower. You need to have it connected. As I've mentioned in previous builds, tarps are essential, so I've made them with milliput epoxy putty. Same thing as in previous episode. I formed a couple of them and scattered them around the tank. Also, using these spare photo etch strips, I've made a rack for jerrycans, and I mounted it behind external fuel tanks. Capitalizing on the fact that I was in a scratch building mood, I decided to make a sledgehammer to add something to the open toolbox. Using styrene sheet and rods, I've built a tool and placed it inside the box. There will be more tools inside, but at the time of the build I didn't have any, so I've ordered 3D printed ones, these ones to be specific, and you will see them in the painting video soon. Or not, you will see them now. I've got the footage of them and they are really nicely done. The print quality is very good. Can't wait to paint them properly. I will put those tools into the toolbox. As for last finishing touch, I decided to add some more texture to the external fuel tanks, as well to the plate holding side skirts. It was quickly tapped with old brush and Tamiya grey putty. An even surface will add to the gritty and old look. So, here we are with this abomination of the tank. On the screen you can see a little sneak peek of what we will achieve in the next painting video. And here you can see effects of the building stage. Yeah, I'm quite happy with the result, as I've definitely learned a lot during this process. I'll try to make the painting video for you as soon as possible, but yeah, I sadly do not have that much free time to spare for video editing. By the time of uploading this video, I've already got 13 subscribers. This is great, and you can't imagine how happy I am to find that many people who enjoy cringe modeling. So yeah, expect second part of this build soon, and then we will start a little more serious project. Take care and see you soon.